What is going on, everybody? And in this video, we are talking about the state of the market, and we're talking about stock picks for February 17th, 2022. Now, today was a big day. We found out, or we got the FOMC meeting notes, and it was a whole lot of nothing. There was zero detail in there, which the market took it essentially as no news is good news. And so we had a nice green candle coming into today. Majority of the day, the market was pretty flat. It hardly even moved. We've had a tight range. It got even tighter going into those notes. But that move up, in my mind, could actually be really bullish. I started thinking it would be really bullish when I saw this power hour candle started opening above that zone that was essentially holding us down. But we still have a lot to break back through. Even if you look on the daily, it's could be considered a higher low. So maybe we go back and we retest that 45.85 mark tomorrow. I think we will at least try to attempt that, if not this week, next week. The real question is, are we going to break out of that, or will we continue to play this range until mid-March? Mid-March, we will know what is going on with the market. Again, this market is absolutely ridiculous. It is extremely tight ranges, and every pop is closely followed by a drop. So we are essentially playing a penny stock market in general. Now, being said, there is nothing between really now and that February time period, unless for some reason they announced emergency rate hikes, which again, there were whispers of. I'm not really sure how true that is, because you have Fed members also coming out saying that's not true, that they can, as long as it essentially happens by July, we should be okay. And so the market's pretty much like, okay, well, we've priced in 12%. We're just going to go ahead and go for it, I think, at this point. And I think we will get some sort of rally moving forward going into March. How long that is going to be in question. Again, we got a hard ceiling up here on the index. So if we do make it back to here, we definitely need to break it. Or again, we're going to be playing chop. So we'll definitely have to see how that plays out. Bitcoin still holding strong. It needs to break up above. Again, we want to break above the 45, 44 mark. Ultimately, if we can do that, essentially, we'll go with the 4,600 to round it off. If we could break that, that would be great. I could see us making all-time highs. I think it's only a matter of time before Bitcoin does do that. But the market in general, again, struggling without true direction. I think, again, any rally will be short-lived. Going into tomorrow, I think UPST, it is pretty high today. Had a nice movement. Actually had a retest here. I did catch this morning and catch part of the bounce, but it's playing tight range. This might be a good one tomorrow. Again, you don't want it really breaking back below that 142 mark. I think we can extend this into tomorrow. If the market starts to rally, I think this can really start running. That's ultimately what we're looking for tomorrow is a continuation. Google is another big one I want to watch. I did catch part of this too after the meeting notes. I think if we could break back above essentially that 2760 mark, if we can get a candle above that tomorrow, I think we could this could start running back up as well. Google again came out with that data today talking about that they are going to limit user data to other people on the platform, just like Apple did. So it hurt some stocks in the short term. Long term, it will help. It will improve Google's earnings more than likely. So again, then you have the split in July. So tomorrow, I really want to see if it does break and hold that. Again, if the market turns tomorrow and does a rally, this is one I want to be in. I think because it makes up solid ground really fast, along with Tesla is another big one. My only concern with Tesla is I don't like that this 942 mark is a hard ceiling. So for me to even consider Tesla right now, it needs to hit that 442, or it needs to come back down to the 840 and hold. Again, it could go either way. Ultimately, we want to see what the overnight digestion is going to be on the notes, because again, the notes were showing a very hawkish, Fed being very hawkish. Again, didn't give any specifics on anything. Still waiting on stuff like we have been. So just leaving the market up in turmoil again. And then we got the Russia stuff that goes back and forth. So we really don't understand. People are going to eventually become numb to that too. I think they're already starting to see that. That's where we're getting some of these pops and some of these candles. And then tomorrow I want to watch NVDA. The earnings were great. The problem was they guided really high over what they're essentially estimated to be making. The market obviously did not like that. They don't want them. I think the estimation was over possibly even $1 billion. It was pretty high. So being said, obviously the market's not going to like that. Shareholders aren't going to like that. Putting such a high expectation on next earnings. So being said, I think once we digest, as long as NVIDIA can hold overnight, if it can hold a 262 mark tomorrow, I think tomorrow it may actually start bringing all the chips with it. So anything like your Qualcomms, your ASMLs, MU, AMD, I think will do really well tomorrow. So a big one to keep on watch tomorrow. And then I think we do have Cisco too. Cisco did really well. Don't really like to play Cisco. And for me, Cisco would really have to hold that 56.65 mark tomorrow. Again, it's very choppy and doesn't really move a lot. So this move, it beat expectations. So in my mind, a lot of the stocks like this, they don't hold after earnings. So it may actually continue to just start selling off. We've seen that with a couple other companies as well during earnings. I can't recall what exact one. There was one that just did that. Twilio, matter of fact, was the other one. Another cloud company. They crushed earnings and the stock rocketed. And the next day it just sold. It gave back all its gains. So there's certain stocks that do that. I believe Cisco is one of them. They don't hold very well. So Airbnb tomorrow could be a strong possibility as well. It needs to hold the 185 mark. Again, Airbnb is getting really high up there. And then normally what's typically best to do is after continuation. So normally you get a couple days of continuation. As long as the market's strong, get a couple days of continuation. And then after that point, you really don't touch the stock for about 3 to 4 weeks. And it normally dies off during that time. And then come back and then essentially reassess and take position and play it during that time until next earnings. So that's pretty much what I got. This video is really short. We have to see how overnight digestion is going to be ultimately. The notes, how you and I may interpret it, can be completely different from the way the market sees it. What I am seeing is strength, like the market wants to push, the market doesn't want to sell. So being said, until we actually get rates, I see us rallying up. But how we're going to do that is really up to the market. Does the market really want to start pushing only for March to come back and essentially the Fed be very hawkish and then start taking massive action and then we just start selling off? If that's the case, then it could be an issue. So we really want to see what we can do there. But ultimately, we have to see what the market has entailed tomorrow. Overnight digestion is going to be important. So we'll see. So if you made it this far, drop a like, and I will see you guys next time.